What's up, Cardfighters? Chris here from Vanguard Central, bringing you our updated with G-BT07 Dragonic Overlord Kagura deck profile. We're using a Spherical Lord version, so keep watching, and I hope you like it.
Stand up, Vanguard!
Alright, so our starter is Lizard Hero Undu. I thought a lot about debating, Sadeg versus Undu, but Undu I found to be a bit better. Just having the utility to grab a grade 3 Overlord, well, I guess any Overlord, but to grab a grade 3 to enable GB2 for Legend, or to get an extra attacker, various things like that, or like guarantee stride fodder for the next turn. That utility was a lot more useful than being able to pop one extra unit on my opponent, regardless of the counterblast cost. So we're running 4 Legends. Got that sweet shot hot print on all of them thanks to our friend Brandon. Hooked me up. Pretty good deal, so thank you to him. But Legend has just proven, for me at least, after doing some testing, to be the best grade 3 for Kagura. I used to play Cross. I was adamant about Cross for a long time. I eventually switched to Legend, and I ended up liking it way more, even after just a couple games. So I've been sticking with that. On Ride, it was great. But I actually really think the GB2 is really underrated. I use it a lot in my games. Being able to drive check 6 times lets you hit a lot more crits and lets you apply a lot more pressure than you might be able to with an ace. Because sometimes, if they're at 4 damage, they might not have enough cards. They'll just no guard an ace and you won't rip a crit. But doing the Legends GB2 can help you kind of control their field a little bit and get crits to make 3 attacks with critical. And that pressures them to guard all of them, because all of them will kill them. So GB2, keep it in mind, it's pretty underrated in my opinion. So we got 2 Dragonic Overlord Break Ride. Really, this could be anything with Overlord in the name. I just wanted to up Overlord count 4 aces, just to make that a little bit more consistent. And I felt like Overlord was a decent choice, because worst case, if I do ride him, I can break ride Legend later and use Overlord's skill to replace the restand and draw some extra cards. So I felt like it wasn't that bad of an option. Actually thinking about running 1 Cross and 1 End, and so that way I can actually complete Legion, but we'll see. I'll test it out and see how it goes. But really just anything with 2 Overlord name, because combined with the 4 Legends and the 3 Spherical Lord, you should never really have to ride it. So we're doing the 9 grade 3s. We got 3 Spherical Lord, just because it's more Nehelims, and Nehelims, as people have been saying, is one of the best cards in the deck. And you really don't lose anything by adding more. And you're just able to search out Legend to get free card. This is one of the few ways that Kagura can get pluses. So even though it's a hefty counterblast 2 cost, you'll just unflip with Conroe or your Protect Orbs, and you get an extra attacker this way, and it's pretty nice. And so if you're getting rushed, you can always Spherical Lord into Legend, use that counterblast 3, and get some cards in hand to help push back. In the grade 2s, we should have no surprise. There's 4 Nehilim, one of the best grade 2s in the deck. Hits 21 really easy, especially when you use Legends GB2. Another reason why the GB2 is a bit underrated, because you just get those 21s, you'll get crits on them, makes them 26. It's really hard to guard. But just that extra power without having to commit anything else is huge. And to add to our ability to attack without having to call boosters, we have 3 Nadims. I'm debating this slot between Nadim and Burning Horn, because Burning Horn has utility being able to be called by Legend. But Nadim gets that extra pressure by being able to unflip on hit. And I've never actually unflipped with Nadim, but that's maybe because people are guarding them because they don't want me to unflip. So, I don't really know. I do want to test with Burning Horn just because being able to search it with the Legend would be nice. And then we have 2 Burnouts. This is to help a little bit with the Overlord count. Sometimes you could just draw it. That's actually mostly what it's for. I mean, Retire is obviously super efficient, but it's mostly oh crap, I need to get an Overlord, or maybe I just don't have enough Overlords in deck. I'm scared of running out. So you just put 1 back. If you're all out of Overlords, you could just burn out and then undo, because you could get the Overlord back into your deck. So it's really just to help manage your Overlord count more than anything, but that extra Retire is really important. And then lastly, we got 2 Berserker Lord Dragon. This card has actually been really good. I threw it in to test one random time, and just being able to like retire on like what is normally considered pressure turns, like Ace or the GB2, being able to wipe your opponent's field while pressuring their hand at the same time has been proven to be really, really good. It's just been excellent for me. So just having the 2, I'm thinking about adding a bit more instead of burnouts, but this 2/2 has been really good for me. So probably keep it that way for a while. We got 4 Protect Orb Dragons. Unflips are just the most important thing in this deck. You burn through Counterblast a ton. Almost everything you do costs Counterblast, so you just want to be able to unflip and keep those costs going. Speaking of unflips, we got 4 Conros. Helps you get on Legend. With 9 grade 3s, it's super easy to just activate Conro and get Legend if you don't have it, without having to use Spherical Lord or anything nonsense like that. 9 grade 3s makes this guy really consistent to grab Overlords. Helps set up Ace turns, GB2 turns, and unflips like crazy when you do Ace or Legend. So really, really powerful card in the deck. This seems weird maybe to some of you because I'm running 9 grade 3s, but I'm also running 4 Stridefodders. This is because we want to keep your grade 3s because they can count as attackers that hit without the boosts. They can be used for GB2, they can be used for Stride, and they're also used for Ace. So keeping your grade 3s is really important, so I just wanted to have 4 Stridefodder and keep my options as open as possible during the game. And then lastly, the 1 tech grade 1 we have is an Athonic. I choose to forego like Bellog. I tried that deck out a little bit, and I didn't really like it. I'll talk a bit more like in the conclusion, but I just wanted a little bit more unflips with this deck. Like great, Conroe is great, Protected Orb is great, but sometimes you don't have those, and just having this one little extra option to unflip can be really, really useful. So it's been working out. I don't draw into it much, but when I do, that unflip 2, it does help. It does help. So for triggers, we're playing 12 critical. I'll show him after I show my avatar Goku. Yes, he's not a flame dragon, but he's my avatar, so I gotta put him in at least 1. So I got the 12 crits and the 4 heals, as many flame dragons as we can without taking out our 1 Goku. Flame dragons, obviously, because of Legend, you want to grab shield if it's applicable. If you open all triggers, you want to be able to grab something. And 12 critical because I've been playing with draws a long time in Kagura. I was a big proponent of 6 crit 6 draw in Kagura for a long time, and then I switched one time. I was like, you know what? Because I was playing Legend Great, and I was like, you know what? I'm doing 4 to 6 drive checks every single turn. I'm using Great, I'm using Legend, I'm using Ace. I'm doing all these things to get like a ton of drive checks. Why don't I just switch to 12 critical? Because I have so much more chances to get offensive triggers rather than like draws. So I tried it out, and it worked really well. A lot better than I expected to. So I've stuck with it since then, and it's been really, really good. It's been like very effective. And I don't know, I just don't feel like I'm gonna switch back. I just switched to more of like aggressive tempo style Kagura deck rather than the control that it's normally considered to be. And that's been working out really well because with the 12 crits, like I said, the GB2 super underrated for Legend, because with 12 crits it's really easy for me to just get crits on all my lanes. And if I have 2 Nehilims, then without boosts we're looking at 31 with crit on Vanguard and then 26 with crit on both of my rear guards, and that can be really hard to guard. And so just having all the crits and doing lots of drive checks, and it just turned into like a trigger sack deck, like a crit sack deck, but that's actually what I feel works the best, so that's why it is as it is. Our strides, we have 1 Vortex and 1 Mustafa. I wanted to give the option between, well, maybe I want to kill a specific unit. That can be very important. It's gonna save me. It saved me in a lot of matchups. It uses up the counterblast, but being able to like snipe an important unit can be a lot more useful than trying to Vortex Desire, especially if they like drew a lot of cards. They have a perfect guard. Then this is just gonna get blocked, and you're not gonna get any field go. Like you're not gonna be able to kill any field. So sometimes it's important just to get that 1 unit. We have 4 Titans. This card is amazing. Usually you're going to use either Mustafa or Vortex to flip 1 up, so your first your first Blade Master stride can flip another one up and you get 2 retires. So just as powerful as Root Flare, but you're gaining crits at the same time. It's just super good. You get to retire, which pressures their field. They're going to be forced to call out more, but then you also get the crit, so they need to guard Vanguard, and then you drop cards. So you're pressuring like the field and hand simultaneously, which really gets to people. And running 12 crits, if they know, then they're never going to be willing to take this at like low damage. It's just going to put them in a terrible position. You easily put people up to 5 from 4. And, you know, it's just so much more pressuring with those extra crits. If they're at 4, you already got the crit there. You'll probably drive check at least one, and then you get it on the rear guard. They have to guard that too. So it's been really, really good. The gameplay mostly focuses around Titans. But going on, we have 4 Ace. I stuck with 4 Ace because I felt like some matchups you want to use multiple Aces, and I felt like getting in extra Root Flares or something was just helping matches I was already good at. So I just wanted to be able to get more tools to use in the matchups that you kind of struggle a little bit with, and just having 2 Aces to be able to like wipe their hand when they're at high damage. It can be really useful just having the second one to go into. And lastly, we have our guaranteed win card in Novel L'Espresso. I used to not like this card, but you know, I've tested it out, and just being able to say I won, and that your opponent can't do anything about it, can't even hope to 6-steal out of it, is definitely, you know, useful. If you Titan, they do have the chance to like double heal. If you Ace, they have the chance to heal out of it. So your other options, while like they're good at sealing the game, they're not auto wins. So having that auto win button is pretty nice. And lastly, our G Guardians. I have 2 Denial Griffins and 2 Isle Orbs, or Azel Orbs, whatever. So I chose this because I felt like, I think most people play 2 Denials, 1 Azel, and 1 Defeat Flare. And I played a little bit with Defeat Flare. I felt like it never really came up, and when it came up, it wasn't that great. So I just decided to, you know, forego Defeat Flare to get extra shield, which can help you block Vanguards. And I think that utility to block Vanguard is a bit more important than having that, like, oh, maybe they'll commit their whole back row and I'll get to blow it up and it'll be awesome. Because that doesn't usually happen enough. I'm just hoping to get enough advantage off of Denial Griffining them, or being able to block their Vanguard with a heal and another 10k. So it's been working out. I never felt like I needed Defeat Flare, so no need to run it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked our Dragonic Overlord Kagero deck profile. It's been really fun playing this aggressive style of Kagero. It's definitely new. It's not something that Kagero has usually been, you know, noted for. Being a very aggressive build and pulling lots of crits. It's usually like a control style build, but it's been working out really well, so I suggest you give it a try. I have tried the Bellog Hulkroar version, so I want to talk about that a little bit. I think it is good. It's not like terrible or anything. I just felt like this version is better, because when I was playing that Bellog version, I felt like I didn't really get to do much on my turn, because I had to save Counterblast for Hulkroar, I had to save Counterblast for Denial Griffin, so I could stop their plays. And I had a really weak rear guards. They weren't hitting a lot. And like I had to get triggers to get my rear guards to hit, so I felt like my turns were pretty lackluster. But then when I got to my opponent's turn, then I was like, okay, so now they're doing all these plays, but then I can kind of stop them. You know, sometimes it's not that good. You don't have the 3 counterblast, so you're trying to like Bellog Hulkroar, and I just felt like I wasn't doing enough on my opponent's turn, and I wasn't doing that much. Like, I wasn't doing that much on my turn, and I wasn't doing enough on my opponent's turn to make up for the lack of stuff happening on my turn. So I switched to just a more aggressive build, and it's been working out. It's been working out really well for me. So I really like this style. Definitely give it a shot. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you like the deck profile. Give us a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Hit that thumbs up. Helps out a lot. And as always, subscribe for more content. Vanguard Central, out.